What's up, everyone? Hunter Dole here from Philly Insider Podcast. We're back with another trade video, trying to get one of these out per day, talking about Rockies shortstop Jose Iglesias today. Not gonna lie, guys, went into my research on him thinking older shortstop, not a guy who can help this team necessarily right now. And I personally have always been an Iglesias fan, but I didn't really think I was gonna come out of my research thinking, yes, this is a guy we should consider adding. That's exactly where I'm at right now. 32 years old, making $5 million this year. He's a free agent after the season, so he is a rental. By the numbers, he's played 74 games, 290 plate appearances. He is slashing 304, 345, 410, and he has hit 3 home runs, 33 RBIs. He has 20 doubles, which is 12th in the National League, tied for 12th, I should say. 29 runs scored and only 32 strikeouts. Also, that 304 batting average is 5th in the National League right now. But I actually want to start by talking about his defense because throughout his career, that's where Iglesias has made his money. If you have seen any Jose Iglesias highlights, they're probably some of the best defensive highlights you've seen in the past decade or so. The dude is absolutely terrific at shortstop, at least throughout his career he has been. This year, he had a rough start to the season. 3 errors in April alone. He has a .975 fielding percentage this year, which ranks 11th among shortstops. Definitely not the same guy he used to be. I don't think he's quite as rangy, but I still think he makes a positive impact on the defensive side of the baseball, and I still think he can produce there. 4 errors since the start of May. Since May, he has a .980 fielding percentage, which would have him tied for 3rd among qualified shortstops. I know that's not how it works. April did happen, but I just thought I would mention that he has been better over the past few months and a half. He is 2nd in double plays among shortstops, really getting better and better as the season goes on, just by the eye test too. And from the Rockies fans I talked to, it sounds like he's really started to make some of those terrific plays once again. Again, I don't know if he's going to make those as consistently as he did when he was in a Tigers uniform, where every day it seemed like he was making a barehanded throw to first or making a diving stop up the middle to prevent a single or a run from scoring. But like I said, I still think he's a positive impact on the defensive side. If you're comparing him to Didi Gregorius, who may get moved at the deadline, he was awful defensively last year. This year, obviously, hasn't played as much. He hasn't been as awful. But you have that blunder yesterday where he's playing back to get the double play, even though there's a runner on 3rd. You're trying to get the double play, and he hesitates and almost throws home, and then he goes and tags second base on his own and throws to first, and the guy's safe because he didn't know what to do, and he wasn't mentally prepared for that play. That cannot happen. I don't think that's going to happen with Iglesias. He at least has the mental part of it locked down. Really frustrated me with Didi Gregorius yesterday. He's been frustrating the past 2 seasons defensively. So Iglesias helps there. Now turning to the offense, he's always been a hitter you kind of know what you're getting from him. Career .277 hitter. Doesn't hit the baseball very hard. He's actually ranked bottom 3% in exit velocity every year except the COVID year. And rarely hits for power, but he always hits line drives. Not always, but when he is putting the ball in play, there's a good chance it's going to find grass and turn into a hit. He has that gap-to-gap mentality. I talked a little bit about that with Brandon Drury. So even though he doesn't have that raw power, since he has that gap-to-gap mentality, he's able to log a lot of extra base hits. Also, while he doesn't walk a ton, it's rare that he does not make contact. His highest strikeout rate in his entire career was 14.7 in 2021. Guys, the league average for strikeout rate is 22%. He was over 7 points below that when he had his highest strikeout rate. This year it is 10.9%. In his career it's 11.7%. Unreal contact numbers. Always putting the ball in play. You got to appreciate that because you put the ball in play, good things can happen. With runners in scoring position this year, he is hitting .407. In his career with runners in scoring position, he's a .307 hitter. Also a pretty good base runner. Doesn't swipe a ton of bags, but can make an impact on the base paths. Has some good speed there. But really, looking at those numbers with runners in scoring position, again, I talked about this with Drury. The number of times the Phillies have come up with bases loaded, no outs, and not produced is unacceptable. And I don't think Iglesias is a guy who's going to hit in the top of the order and completely change that, but certainly a guy in the bottom of the order, if he has runners on base, he's going to knock them in. And he's also going to be able to turn it back to the top of the order. Also had a 6 RBI game the other day. A very dominant series versus the Padres. Again, runners in scoring position, there's a good chance he's going to bring them home. This is one of the most important things I want to note. Obviously at Coors Field, guys, the ball's going to travel farther. And with Jonathan Daza, who I talked about earlier, doesn't have a drastic difference between home and away. He is hitting much better at Coors Field, but he's still hitting pretty well on the road. Jose Iglesias is hitting way better on the road, which shocked me. I thought the opposite, especially with him not being a guy who's going to hit the baseball hard. I thought Coors Field was helping him a ton. Not the case. He's hitting 363 on the road, slugging 476 on the road. Actually hasn't hit that amazing at Coors Field. He's done okay. I mean, he's kind of at Coors Field, he's kind of hit how he's hit in his career. So I'm still okay with that. Also, fun fact, in 23 career games at Citizens Bank Park, he's slashing 293, 301, 427. So that's something that could, I don't know if there's any trend there, but it's always nice to have a guy who's comfortable in the Phillies ballpark. Overall, great veteran locker room presence, well-liked player, a leader, a team player. Last year with the Red Sox, he was signed after September 1st, was not eligible to play in the postseason as a result. Xander Bogaerts went out for a short amount of time. He filled in beautifully in Xander's absence. Then when Xander came back, moved to second base, learned second base, just kind of from the jump, and produced there as well. And was kind of, in a sense, they kind of had him as a player coach in the playoffs. I think that's really cool to have a guy like that who's so well respected and kept around throughout the playoffs. He made such an impact in September that they felt like he needed to be part of the playoff run in some aspect. And I think this year, that's going to be interesting. It adds a lot of intrigue as to what he would do if he got traded to contender and had a shot to play in the playoffs. I'm very intrigued by it for sure. And at the end of the day, he seems like a cheap, solid rental. He is considered probably the top shortstop on the market, so that may make him a bit pricier. There's going to be some teams probably contending for him, but I do think it's feasible. I think there's a chance we could snag him. We've been named as a team that could be a potential suitor. No rumors, no links or anything, but just a team that could definitely benefit from him. And based on the way he helped the Red Sox at the end of last year and just his career track record, I would really, really like this move. I'm very surprised I'm saying that after my initial thoughts on studying up on Iglesias, but I came out very pleasantly surprised. And I think I'm good with it as long as it's not our only move. I think you need to grab another bat or a couple of pitchers. You're not going to get a blockbuster deal, but I just think they need significant help. And not that Iglesias can't do that. I just think he's a solid role player who is a nice addition to the team and helps us along the way. But it's going to be really difficult to address every need. You need to manage until Bryce and Segura come back, and I think Iglesias helps you do that. So while I don't think he's a game changer, I think he's definitely someone who makes our baseball team a lot better. So that's my thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. God bless. Go Phils. Ring the bell. We'll see y'all later.